Hey, Dave Lowe here with isiFederal. This is a special NVSBE live session where we talk about decision clusters, contracting officers, the program people, the technical people, and what they need from you. And with that, we're going to talk about the three primary clusters, decision clusters, three primary players that are involved in the buying process. These are the program folks, the PM, the technical representatives, and the contracting people, and they each have different roles, different needs, and different buying motives. And if we're not paying attention, we're going to be pitching them all the same thing, and we're going to miss two of the three every single time. And that's why we lose. If we're not paying attention to what their roles and needs are and buying motives, this is why the white paper works. Because you're attaching it to specific roles and needs and then buying motives, all of them, and get you the ability to do that. So let's talk about these folks. Who are these people? Project management and program managers coming down. They're driving the initiatives from the president or Congress or whatever it happens to be through the agency. They're the type of people that are looking for new ideas and new technology. Are they really? Probably not, because they're still a little bit risk averse depending on where they are. Some of the folks are really drivers. Those are the ones we really like because they're the ones that are most willing to accept something that's a little bit outside the box. But ultimately, they're the ones that define the scope, the requirements, and the capabilities of the companies that they need to possess in order to be able to get the job done right. What does the company look like? What are the requirements that we want to put out there, and what kind of the specifications that need to be included? So if this is their job, our job is to tie in with the initiatives, the things that are coming down on their head, and help them look good. And you might say, well, wait a minute. One of those is professional, right? That's tying into the initiatives. How can I help them look good? You can actually help somebody look good before you have a contract. And I'll tell you how you can do it. And this is part of the secret sauce that we use a lot. And that is, if you find somebody that you meet, if you're meeting with a bunch of folks, which we do, and I'm in front of somebody, say, you know what? I really want to introduce you to this guy over, maybe it's the Department of Commerce, and you want to introduce him to somebody in the Department of Energy. I like the way you think, and you guys kind of think alike. Maybe you guys get together and compare notes. So you connect people, and then you're showing them, hey, I'm thinking right, or whatever it happens to be, and you can make those connections, connecting people even before you have a job. But ultimately, when you get brought to the table, you want to help them look good. And maybe you want to help them look good to their boss's boss. Done that too. If you come in from the C-level and you're coming down on the food chain, you come down 3 or 4 levels, they don't get exposure to those folks. They don't get exposure to directors. They don't get exposure to the C-level folks or the SESs very often. If they do, a lot of times they're getting pulled in their office because somebody's saying that they're screwing up. So what we want to do is we want to build and breathe into them and help them look good to the folks that are there. So the technical representatives, a couple steps down in the food chain, usually reports up to the PM, and that's why you can get some of that coverage selling down through the PM side of the house. They bridge the gap on particular contracts between the program and the contracting folks. They're definitely much more risk averse than the other folks because they're lower in the food chain. They help to assemble the technical requirements, government standards, all the things. They go looking for other things that are out there either in the government or in industry. They look for certifications that should be included so that you can exclude other people. Look for the certifications they want so that some people can be excluded from the RFP process altogether, and the other mandatory requirements that will continue to push people away. And they're responsible for helping exclude. Their job is to get the job done right along with their program people. So if that's their job, let's help them with the requirements and help them look good to their boss. Professional and personal, both sides of the house. So then we get to contracting, who people want to kick to the curb. And I don't get it because they spend millions of dollars. We want to make sure that we're infiltrating this side of the house as well. I got shot years ago. $6.2 million opportunity. I had coverage inside the program people, did not cover the contracting officer. $6.2 million, gone. And I had infiltration, wrote a lot of what was adopted into the scope of work. I would say a lot, because I can't tell you it's 100%, but it was close. They're not going to teach you how to do business. They're risk averse, very risk averse, and this is something that we confirmed last week. I had a lot of great conversations. I said, would you consider contracting folks to be risk averse? And everybody would say, crazy, mega, seriously, incredibly. You better believe they're risk averse. So they don't like new things. And if you're asking them, if you're going in with an innovative solution, we're disruptive, we're innovative, we're new, we're outside the box. You're selling something they don't want to buy. So when you're going to contracting officers, you want to sell safe. You want to sell easy. They're experts in moving paper. This is not to diminish what they do. They spend millions of dollars, sometimes billions, but mostly millions, tens of millions, sometimes 100 millions, right? They select the purchasing mechanism. Is it going to go under this NAICS code or that NAICS code? Is it going to go out for full and open RFP? Is it going to go out to an 8A? Is it going to be competed 8A? Is it going to be service disabled, veteran-owned small business? Is it going to be competed between 2 GSA schedule holders? All these are determined by contracting. They develop the contract documents, and their job is to buy this thing, whatever it is. And our job, if their job is to buy this thing, we want to make it easy for them to buy from us. And the other piece that's personal is valuing them. And I said this at the show last week. There's 3 letters that we think of a lot of times that infect our brains, and these 3 letters are DMV. If we think of DMV, it just sends shudders up and down our spine, because it doesn't matter what state you're in, the DMV sucks. So with that, we want not to have that infect our brains, which is then going to come out our pores, which is then we're going to be communicating that they're lazy and not really worth anything. I'm telling you, if your contract value on average is $150,000 or so, is a good contract size for you, these guys can be your best friend. If you're normally above $750,000, these guys will be very difficult, and you got to really work these guys a little differently. But most of the time, they have incredible amount of influence on the lower procurement sides, because a lot of people don't really care about how they buy it. So opportunities come from people. Winnable opportunities come from people that like us. So what's our job? Our job is to find the people that need to like us and get them to like us. That's our job. If we can identify the people, very, very important. We can't possibly have somebody like us that doesn't know us, and we can't possibly get them to know us and get them to like us if we have no clue who they are. So first, find the people. Second, get them to like us. And we're going to talk exactly about that and how incumbents do this.